Have you ever felt like your life took a wrong turn? Like you were forgotten, betrayed, or stuck in a situation you couldn't escape? Well, today we're diving into a story that's all about that and so much more. It's the incredible journey of a young man named Joseph, found in the book of Genesis. Joseph was the second youngest of 12 brothers, but he was his father Jacob's clear favorite. To show his love, Jacob gave Joseph a stunning, multicolored coat. This special treatment didn't sit well with his older brothers. Their jealousy grew even worse when Joseph started sharing some pretty wild dreams he was having. In these dreams, his brothers and even his parents were bowing down to him. To them, this was the last straw. They saw him as arrogant and full of himself. One day, when Joseph went to check on his brothers while they were tending the flocks, they saw their chance. They grabbed him, stripped him of his beautiful coat, and threw him into an empty well. At first they planned to leave him there, but then a caravan of traders heading to Egypt passed by. So they sold their own brother into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. To cover their tracks, they dipped his coat in goat's blood and took it back to their father, letting him believe a wild animal had killed his beloved son. Jacob was heartbroken, overcome with grief. Meanwhile, Joseph was taken to Egypt and sold to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Even as a slave, Joseph excelled. He was hardworking and trustworthy, and God was clearly with him. Potiphar noticed this and soon put Joseph in charge of his entire household. Everything ran smoothly under Joseph's management. However, this success brought a new kind of trouble. Potiphar's wife took an interest in Joseph and tried to seduce him. When he refused her advances day after day, she became angry. One day she grabbed his cloak, and as he fled, she was left holding it. Furious at the rejection, she falsely accused him of attacking her. Believing his wife, Potiphar threw Joseph into prison. Back in a dark cell, it seemed like all hope was lost, but once again Joseph's character and faith shone through. The prison warden saw something special in him and put him in charge of the other prisoners. While in jail, Joseph met two of Pharaoh's former servants, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. Both had strange dreams they couldn't understand. With God's help, Joseph interpreted their dreams. He told the cupbearer he would be restored to his position in 3 days, and he told the baker that he would be executed. And everything happened exactly as Joseph had said. Joseph's only request to the cupbearer was to remember him and mention him to Pharaoh. But once he was free, the cupbearer forgot all about the young man in prison. 2 long years passed. Then Pharaoh himself had 2 disturbing dreams that no one in his kingdom could interpret. He dreamed of 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 skinny cows, and 7 healthy heads of grain being devoured by 7 thin heads. Suddenly the cupbearer remembered Joseph. Joseph was brought from the dungeon to stand before Pharaoh. He told Pharaoh that God was revealing what was to come, 7 years of great abundance in Egypt, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. He advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise man to collect and store grain during the good years to prepare for the bad. Impressed by his wisdom and the Spirit of God in him, Pharaoh appointed Joseph to be that man. At just 30 years old, Joseph became the second most powerful man in Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. He went from a pit to a prison to a palace. For 7 years he oversaw the storage of immense quantities of grain. Then, just as he had foreseen, the famine hit. It wasn't just in Egypt. It spread across the entire region, including the land of Canaan where his family lived. Back home, Jacob heard there was grain in Egypt, so he sent 10 of his sons to buy some, keeping only his youngest, Benjamin, at home. When the brothers arrived in Egypt, they came before the powerful governor to ask for food, and they bowed down low before him. They had no idea they were bowing to the very brother they had sold into slavery 20 years earlier. Joseph recognized them immediately, but he kept his identity a secret. He spoke harshly to them, accusing them of being spies. To test their hearts and see if they had changed, he put them through a series of challenges. He demanded they bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, back to Egypt to prove their story. When they finally returned with Benjamin, Joseph was overcome with emotion. He devised one final test. He had his silver cup hidden in Benjamin's sack of grain. When the cup was discovered, Joseph declared that Benjamin must stay behind as his slave. But this time, the brothers were different. Judah, one of the older brothers, pleaded for Benjamin's life, even offering to take his place as a slave. He couldn't bear the thought of causing his father any more pain. Seeing their genuine remorse and change of heart, Joseph could no longer contain himself. He sent everyone out of the room and, through tears, revealed who he was. "I am Joseph," he cried. "Is my father still alive?" The brothers were terrified, but Joseph reassured them. He told them not to be angry with themselves. "It was not you who sent me here, but God," he explained. He saw that God had used their evil act for a greater good, to save their entire family and many others from the famine. Joseph then arranged for his father, his brothers, and their families to move to Egypt, where he cared for them. It's a powerful story of forgiveness, redemption, and how even the most difficult circumstances can be part of a much bigger, divine plan. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more incredible stories. They sell him into slavery in Egypt, where he endures hardship but rises to power by interpreting Pharaoh's dreams. During a famine, his brothers come to Egypt seeking food and must appeal to the brother they betrayed, who they do not recognize. After testing their hearts, Joseph reveals himself, forgives them, and saves his family, bringing them to live with him in Egypt.